Hearken to my word when I say that desires of man are patterned seed which repeat their kind. That pattern which man fashions into seed of his desire will multiply in like form for his reaping. And the reaping will be as sure as that the dawn cometh to him unasked for by him. For man is what his desire is. His image is the pattern of his thinking. Observe ye all men my one inviolate law of rhythmatic balanced interchange in all thy thinking and in all thy dealing. Happiness or anguish will be thine in the measure of its observance. Should ye desire to kill, the whole power of my universe will help you kill. But by the sword ye killeth with shall ye also be killed. Likewise my law will give all power to aid him who would bless another by a kindly act. He who so desires to bless shall reap blessings from seed of that desire multiplied 100 times. A humble act done unperceived in my name will open wide the door of my kingdom for him who doeth right action, for right action's sake alone. But he who doeth mighty things for self-glory shall not know my light. Desire for thus acting, thus manifesting me, is manifoldly blessed. But he who maketh loud protestations for the same act does it not in my name, but in his own, denying me in him. Verily I say, he who giveth in my name storeth up great riches in the rhythms of heaven, which are as immortal as the soul seed of his self is immortal. But he who taketh riches of it in his own name, giving naught of his self to me, to void the greed of his self-taking, gathereth not to himself but riches which are as mortal as the clay of his earth self is mortal. Things alone of earth which man desires are but things of earth to be returned to earth with bones of him. But things of earth, heaven blessed by me, are as eternal in the immortality of his self-recording soul as light of me is eternal. He who desireth riches of earth alone, denying me in him, shall dwell in outer darkness of his own making, until he shall desire me strongly. Even to him will I give all he asketh without stinting, yea, and even more. But he, having more than all he sought, will have naught but worthless dross of his earth desire, and darkness will enshroud him. No light will there be in his eyes, nor will he know love. Having desired the dark without my light, he will have but acquired the dark. He who desireth peace on earth must find it in heaven. Therefore I say, he who desireth aught through me, he shall have his desire throughout eternity. For it shall be written in his recording soul, in lines of light. But he who gaineth riches of earth alone will lack of me in them, writeth black lines upon his eternal soul, which he must whiten through long ages of undoing. For I say, there are two opposed ways in the journey of man, from his jungle to his mountain top. One leads backward to the blackness of his primal jungle. The other way leads to me. Man may choose his way, for man's purpose in manifesting me is to find his way out of the dark to light of me throughout long ages of new knowing through repeating action. He who walks toward the light through right action writes new lines of light upon his soul, but he who walks toward the dark takes on the dark, and no light is there in him. Hear thou me when I say that man writes his own record of his thinking and his acting in his own immortal soul, and that which man writes there will be repeated in the patterned seed of the reborning of that man until eternity. Some far day he will come to me to find rest, but until that day of knowing me in him, he shall walk the treadmill of earth unceasingly. There are those among men of earth who deem desire unholy. These seek holiness and me through the suppressions of all desires. These sit in quietude, seeking me through meditation, but acting not to manifest my purpose. Yet these ask alms in my name to those who fulfill my purpose through thought followed by action. I command thee to tell to these misguided holy men, who sell their holiness for a price to those who unknowingly buy naught of holiness for their wasted gold, that they who thus sit begging by the road in mortifying rags shall never find me whom they seek, until they act to fulfill my purpose. Tell thou them that they are as unclean in thy father mother's eyes as the stench of them is unwholesome to men of earth. Said I not these very words in the beginning of thy full knowing me in thee? Desire is of the soul being record of desire, fulfilled by action, for repeating its pattern in the seed. And also said I not to thee, my creating universe is the continuing record of my eternal thinking, followed by action to record the patterned imaged forms of my thinking. And again said I not to thee, my sole desire is to think for the purpose of expressing the one ideal of my thinking through imaged forms of my imagining, engaged in purposeful action. And also have I not said, my cosmos of the divided lights of my thinking, which is recorded by the making of my earths and heavens, and all my children of the earths and heavens, all made in my image, is my body, centered by the light of me, created by desire in me to manifest desire in me. Hear thou me when I again say that my recorded universe is purposeful. It is ideal expressed through action. It is not just ideal in thought alone, being never writ through the interaction of the interweaving lights of my thinking. Wherefore say I, there would be no universe were my thinking not recorded by the action of my extended lights of desire in me. If these useless beggars by the road think themselves holy for the suppression of desire to fulfill my purpose by actions which fulfill my purpose, then am I their one God, unholy for desiring them to fulfill my purpose. Again and yet again shalt thou, my messenger, write down these my words, and say them unto all men. Desire you what you will, and behold, it standeth before thee. Throughout the eons it has been thine without thy knowing, even though thou hast but just asked for it. Sit thou not and ask, acting not, for unless thou reach out for thy desire, it shall not walk thy way to thee, unaided by thy strong arms. Behold, I am within all things, centering them, and I am without all things, controlling them. But I am not those things which I center and control. I am the center of my universe of me. Everywhere I am is the center of all things, and I am everywhere. Thus saith the Universal One, Father, Mother of the heavens and earths, and all his children of the heavens and earths, to me upon the mountaintop, in waves of the two lights of his thinking. And this is from the book, the Divine Illiad I. And this is God's words to Walter Russell when he had his mountaintop experience.